Hey, what's up, YouTube? I'm Dex.
I'm Mike.
And today we're going to do a Luke Cage Episode 6 review. And the title of this episode is Suckers Need Bodyguards. Alright, so this episode starts off with Luke Cage, just running around the neighborhood. I don't know why a superhero needs to work out, but for some reason he's working out. And he stops off at Mariah's pad and basically says, I know you're dirty, and I'm going to stop you. Okay?
And I did like that banter this episode between Black Mariah and Luke Cage. I thought that was... You can see the beginning of the rivalry coming up.
Yeah, like right. Like they just don't like... Because you think about it, she's a lot more cerebral than Cottonmouth. So you could see, like, for example, Cottonmouth is always thinking, I'm going to shoot him with bullets. But remember... Mariah basically said, well, can you drown him? Can you burn him? Like, there's other things you can do to him. It doesn't have to be just with a gun. And then, he was just kind of like, no, I'm going to go with the gun. I'm going to go with the special gun. Yeah. All right. So at the end of the last episode, while they're at Pop's funeral, Cottonmouth sends Scarf a text message. And in the text message is basically like, hey, did you get my guns? And we all know Scarf's dirty. And he had the guns, but he doesn't respond to Cottonmouth. And that's kind of like where it leaves us hanging. So we start the episode with, 10 minutes in, we see that Scarf's meeting with Cottonmouth. And he's asking about the guns. And for some reason, Scarf says, hey, I want like $100,000.
He just like totally pumped Cottonmouth. Like, bitch,
Yeah. Just like, I want more money.
Exactly.
And it was...
And that was like the last straw for Cottonmouth. He was just like, what?
Yeah, I think so. Because it's just like everybody is just basically punking him. Like, I've never just seen a villain that just gets smacked around so much by everybody. So, he like starts fighting with Scarf. And
Takes his own gun.
Yes, and he ends up shooting him twice. And no offense or anything, but... I mean, Scarf, you would think you'd be able to handle Cottonmouth at least a little bit better than you did.
He had a gun. It's like...
No, but I'm saying, but when they were struggling...
No, I'm talking about Scarf had the gun in the beginning.
Yeah. No,
so he shouldn't have got the drop on Scarf at all.
Yeah, he shouldn't have. But it's just weird how, like, Scarf seems so weak.
Yeah.
Like, Cottonmouth's like, give me that gun. And he just, like, shot him. So we find out that he gets shot. And then he just ends up at... Pops' barbershop.
Yeah, looking for help.
Yeah, looking for help. And for some reason, nobody saw him.
Bleed all the way in there.
Yeah, nobody saw him bleed all the way in there. But then after that, like, everybody's looking for him. And everyone's like, yeah, we gotta get him.
Yeah, I think the police put out an APB on him and everything. Like, what is this guy?
It's like everybody was like, okay, we know he's dirty, he could talk. So... So what did you think?
Well, another thing that I liked about this episode, at the beginning, the voiceover with Trish, who's a character from Jessica Jones, her best friend, gave a little montage at the beginning. Another item that's kind of like tying all the shows together, which I liked, And like what we mentioned before, I did like the rivalry between Luke Cage and Black Mariah, because, in this episode we saw her political career go down in flames. Yeah. And we just kind of knew that her next step was become more of a villain in this series. I mean, you knew that was coming once, the political career is dead. So I thought Alfre Wood did really well this episode. She's always been a phenomenal actress, but this episode, you can see that deviousness rise within her character.
Yeah.
Because, in the beginning of the series, she was all about, helping the community, but she was still kind of underhanded, but she was all about the community still.
Right.
But now it's just like, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't have my career anymore.
It's right. Basically now she's like, I need to go hardcore.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we kind of find out in the next episode why that is. Okay, so I thought one of the most interesting scenes, and I haven't really seen a lot of people talking about this, but was when Scarf was in the barbershop and Luke Cage calls Claire to help treat his wounds. Scarf admits that he's dirty, and he admits that he killed Chico.
Yeah.
And Luke Cage is about to kill him.
Exactly, yes.
And you saw like this dark Luke Cage, and I kind of thought to myself, I like this Luke Cage.
But Claire, who was a nurse in the previous series, wasn't going to stand for Luke Cage.
Right.
So she was like that moral voice to stop him from killing Scarf.
Yeah, she was a downer in this one. But we did find that he had a ton of evidence against Cottonmouth.
Oh, yeah.
And then he tells Luke Cage, okay, I'll give you the evidence. So then they decide to take him to, I guess it was the police plaza. There's a hospital out there. And then all of a sudden there's a hit on Scarf. So we find out that Lieutenant Perez is dirty, which we already knew. And then we find out that these mercenaries are after him. But it's kind of weird because it's only like one van full of people. You think there'd be more people if you put out a hit for like $100,000, especially in that city where they show that there's so many criminals. I think at that point we just saw one big long scene where they're just trying to get from point A to point B, and I wasn't necessarily. I don't know. I just wasn't like into it. You know?
Yeah. So what are you going to give the episode?
I'm going to give the episode. I'm probably going to give this one like a 6 out of 10.
Really? Again?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you why. Okay. So this episode was basically about Scarf, and it was about Misty, right? Misty tricks Perez into thinking that. Scarf tells her that, okay, oh, you're dirty. She basically tricks him into saying that he's dirty, right? So that was interesting. And you kind of see like her character more evolving. Because now it's not her and Scarf, it's just her altogether. And then all of a sudden, like you see Scarf die, and that was kind of one of the characters that I liked. But I felt like this episode was just meant to set up the next couple of episodes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you got to sit through it, but you already knew what was going to happen. So, but it was interesting to see Cottonmouth get arrested at the end. But I will say one thing: Scarf only had like a ledger. You would think in 2016 he had like something on like a computer file or something like that. You know what I mean? Like he'd have emails.
Yeah, I guess it's
text
more
messages.
old school, hide it in the floor,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It just got me, that's all.
Well, I like this episode a little bit better. I'm going to give this episode, 8 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I like it a little better. I like Alfre Woodard's performance. I like where her character was going this episode. We had a little bit more action. I like the rivalry between Cottonmouth and Scarf. And how Scarf tried to, set things right, but ultimately died at the end, and had a little bit more action this episode. So that's why I'm gonna give 8 out of 10.
Okay. So 8 out of 10, 6 out of 10. All right. So that's all the time that we have for today.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yes, thank you for watching, and really appreciate any comments at the bottom. Let us know what you thought. Do we miss something? Anything you want to add in? You agree with us, disagree with us? I mean, really anything about the episode would be great. All right, thanks a lot, and we will see you guys next time.